Hello my Eurovision friends, I'm Dean from ESC Scott and I'm back to do another semi-final rehearsal analysis and review video. So I talked about semi-final 1 in a video not too long ago. Now we are here ready to do semi-final 2. So we're going to go through our interval acts and what we thought about the show, and then obviously talk about the results and the performance from this semi-final. We'll take a look at who qualified, who didn't qualify, who just made it, and what could countries do next year and what could they change to possibly qualify to the grand final again. So without further ado, let's play the intro. Now there were so many people, I mean I can't count how many people that say to me, oh my god, semi-final 1 is so unbelievably strong. We've got so many amazing countries in the semi-final 1. I think our winner is going to come from semi-final 1. Well, boy were they wrong. Semi-final 2 I feel was undeniably stronger. I feel like so many songs in here just were head and heels above the rest in semi-final 1. Even though we had 2 of our top 3 from semi-final 1, I think we had more of our heavy hitters in semi-final 2. We had more surprises in semi-final 2. It was more open, and that's what made me think, I feel like this was just a little bit more, it was both easier and harder to get through at the same time. It just felt like we had more strong songs in semi-final 2, but then we also had more kind of iffy songs in semi-final 2 than we did in semi-final 1. It was a weird contrast. We'll talk about it a little bit later on when we talk about results, but semi-final 2 unbelievably strong. We had the winner from semi-final 2. But first let's talk about our opening act. We all had a little tattoo tribute to open semi-final 2. Malin and Petra, our hosts, kind of done a little parody of last year's winning song, Tattoo. It was hilarious. It was kind of a laugh out loud moment. It kind of made people haha, as I would say. In the dress rehearsal for the press before the jury show, this made kind of everyone laugh. It was kind of a shock. It was like, this was kind of on point comedy for the show, and it was a perfect start to the show. It made everyone happy and excited and ready for the show. We also had the big sing-along, kind of the tribute to the sing-along show that they have in Sweden. I think it's All Song, I can't remember how you say it, but it's a sing-along show that they have in Sweden, and they kind of made a not a tribute to that, but they kind of tried to mimic that in the interval act. They had Charlotte Perrelli, they had Sertab, and who else was the last one? Helena Paparazzo. All 3 of them have won Eurovision before. They came back to do their winning song and kind of have a sing-along moment. It was really good. That was really fun. It was though a semi-final interval act. It wasn't, I would have hated to see this in the final. This is more kind of a semi-final kind of filler interval act, but it was really good to see Sertab back. I feel like they were kind of setting us up for kind of a Turkey return. I feel like we were expecting Sertab to come out and say, Turkey's coming back, and we didn't get that. Boy, I wish we did. I feel like they were setting us up for that. Could still happen, you never know. Yeah, it was good, it was fun. I mean, I would have lived without it, but it was fun to see some of our Eurovision winners, past Eurovision winners, come back. And then possibly one of my favourite interval acts of the year was in this semi-final as well. It was the We Just Love Eurovision Too Much. We had Charlotte Perrelli, Petra Mede, and Linda Woodruff, Sarah Dawn Finer, on stage again. This was kind of a part 2 to Love Love Peace Peace, even though you can never beat Love Love Peace Peace, but this was a great interval act. It was kind of a nice homage to Love Love Peace Peace. Great interval act, had some really funny moments in it. Obviously we got Kaarija back to do Cha Cha Cha. Really, really good. That was an amazing moment in the arena. A lot of people really got quite excited for Kaarija, including Kimmy. And personally, I was more happy to see Linda Woodruff. I love Linda Woodruff. Kind of icon in the world of Melodifestivalen and Eurovision. Love her. Glad that she was on stage this year. I feel like she should have hosted. I honestly feel like Sarah Dawn Finer should have hosted this year with Petra and Malin. 3 hosts would have been the maximum, I feel. I feel like she should have been on stage with them. But yeah, I was glad to see her in the interval act. This was fun. Great follow-up from Love Love Peace Peace. But yeah, they were our interval acts for semi-final 2. Let's now talk about the results. This is what makes me think this was the strongest semi-final, because we lost some amazing songs in here, and we also had some surprises, which was so exciting. So 16 songs competed, only 10 made it through, 6 didn't. Sadly, the last place of the semi-final went to Malta. Sara Bonici with the song Loop only got 13 points. To be fair, the final 3, so 14th place, 15th place and 16th place, they all got 16th, 14th and 13 points. so they were very close. It wasn't like it was like a runaway last place. Sarah only made last place by 3 points, so it was really close. She also got points. She got points from Armenia, San Marino, Greece, and France. This, I mean, Malta just, this was the biggest shock of this semi-final, or one of the, it wasn't the biggest, but one of the biggest shocks. I had Malta down as a qualifier before the semi-final began. This is for sure qualifying. It's a fun, pop, girly bop. The Televote usually goes for songs like this. So when this didn't make it through, I was quite surprised. Obviously, it was first up in the running order. It was going to struggle, but it's still surprising. This song deserved to make it through. It was polished. The camera work was amazing. It looked really professional. And not only that, from national final to Eurovision, this was one of the biggest glow-ups. I feel the revamp made this so much better. I feel bad for her because I feel like this should have made it. This should have made it. I don't get it. I don't know what happened. First and foremost, I don't know what happened. Yeah, it just didn't get enough attention, obviously. It just didn't get enough love, which is upsetting. What could Malta do to change next year? Honestly, the national final needs kind of shaking up a little bit. They have to kind of go for quality over quantity. There's 40 songs competing in the auditions last year. You don't need that many. You just need 10 songs in one national. You don't need to do all these auditions and stuff. You have people that work for the national broadcaster that can choose good songs. You've been doing Eurovision for years. You've came second twice. You know how to do well. You know how to choose a song for Eurovision. You know what's good. So just do it yourself. Don't make the public choose from 40 songs because it's a lot. It's a lot to take in. Just have 10, or even just have 5. You don't need 10. You just need a few. And obviously Malta just has really bad luck. Obviously they don't have a lot of neighbours that can vote for them. They don't have a lot of friends in the semi-finals. They seem to get really harsh draws in the running order as well. For the first half, second half, they always seem to get first half, and I mean, it's just, yeah, it's not great. They need some luck next year. They need to find a good song with a good artist. I mean, Sarah was amazing. I feel like she should have qualified. They just kind of have to replicate that. They have to find maybe a wee bit of a better song. They have to try. I feel like they did make an attempt this year, but they really have to try now. Because Malta is not, yet again, one of the countries I feel like can win it. I do feel like Malta will win soon, but they need to really polish up their national final and try and find a good song. That's the first thing they need to try and do. Try and build up to a win. Yeah, it's coming soon. I feel like it's coming. Okay, 15th is Albania. Besa Kokadima with the song Titan. So she just barely made it out of last place, getting 14 points, just one above Sarah. I feel like this was deserved. This, as I say, was a strong semi-final. This wasn't one of the best songs. The revamp killed this, personally, for me. I feel like if this was an Albanian, it possibly still would have struggled, I think, but had more of a chance to get through if it was an Albanian. The change to English, I don't know why Albania does this. I don't know why they do this, and I bet they'll do it again next year, and they'll do it the year after, and it might work. But most of the time, it just doesn't work, and I don't know why they insist on doing it. Yeah, the Albanian version just had something extra, a little bit more flavour, a little bit more sass, just a little bit more, and yeah, it was just better. The English kind of stripped away all of its identity, and I just didn't like that. Literally only 1 point more than Malta. I mean, if they'd gotten 1 less point, they would have been joint last place. If they got 2 less, they would have been last place. It's kind of a worry for Albania. This is kind of a wake-up call for maybe they're not going to get rid of Festivali Kinges. They're obviously going to continue with that, but they need to stop changing their songs from Albanian to English. They have to stop that. Don't know why they insist on doing it. They have to stick to Albanian. They can quite clearly see that songs in native languages are doing well at the moment. We had more national language songs get through to the final than ever before this year. It's kind of alarming when Albania kind of goes, no, we want our song in English. You want it in Albania. You want more people to see you show off your lovely language to the rest of the world. Please send your song in Albanian, please. That's the thing they need to start doing to get qualifications, possibly get a top 5 result. Could we see Albania win soon? Possibly. Let's make it happen. Next up, 14th place was San Marino. Megara with the song 1111. They got 16 points, so yet again, not much more than what Albania and Malta did. Literally a few points less, they would have been last. They have harsh luck. This song was good. This performance was energetic, and it stood out. I was left kind of mesmerised by this performance. It was really quite intense and quite harsh, and it was fun. And I mean, she gave it her all, she put everything into this performance. I feel like they'd done everything they possibly could have done. Staging was great, they added new elements that we didn't get in the national final or in the studio track. It was a good performance. I don't feel like the song was strong. It was a kind of your classic basic rock song that just didn't really feel like it had much of an impact in the studio version, but in the live version I feel like you kind of, what you took away from the performance was it was energetic, it was fun, and I saw people vote for this. I feel like this could have got enough love. And obviously it didn't come last. I mean, it got 10 points from Spain. I knew that was going to happen. Obviously Megara are Spanish. That was bound to happen. I also am quite surprised that Italy didn't go for this as well. I mean, it is San Marino. I know they don't always go for San Marino. I know they don't always give votes to San Marino, but I feel like you could have thrown them a few points, you know what I mean? It is, you're San Marino, it's just, you know what, it was right there. You could have just thrown them a few points. It wouldn't have helped, but I mean, it could have got them past Belgium possibly. So, you know what I mean? Like, what could San Marino do to change, to get a qualification in the future? Honestly, I don't know. I don't know what they could do. San Marino is one of the countries, like, they could send, they have so many different types of songs in the national final, and anyone can apply. It's literally like anyone can apply. So what, they just have to send a good song. They just have to pick a right song. Or even just ditching the national final. Maybe the broadcaster has to just find something, or someone from like a songwriting camp from Norway or Sweden, from Melodifestivalen. They just have to try and find something that's good enough to get a qualification and try and build up a bit of momentum, because San Marino really do deserve their best result. They've only, the best result's been 19th. They have to make it. They have to do better. We cannot have Serhat be their best entry. We can't. We have to improve. We have to get something better. Even though that song is iconic, we have to find something a little bit better. And it will happen. It will happen soon. I know San Marino, it will happen soon for you. Okay, and 13th, possibly our biggest surprise non-qualification of the year, I would say, it is Belgium. Muste with the song Before the Party's Over. It got 18 points. 18. That's kind of shocking. This was a for sure qualifier for a lot of people. This was kind of definitely making it. For me, as soon as I saw the first dress rehearsal and I heard the vocals and the performance, I just was very iffy. It was a bit, in my mind I was like, it's probably going to get through because the song is good enough. The song is a really good song. It's a great studio track. That last minute is amazing. It was really impactful. You really saw the audience really kind of get into it, but it was just that last minute. The whole performance just didn't feel all that together. There was a lot of problems with vocals. There was problems with staging as well. It just didn't feel it didn't feel right. I would have loved to seen some different staging as well. We had this kind of microphone thing in the music video. It would have been nice to seen something a little bit different, a little bit more inventive, not just kind of a copy and paste. It just didn't connect with people, and that was the main reason it didn't get through. It had only 18 points. They had a lot of points scattered throughout different, so Netherlands gave them some points, France, Israel, Georgia, Albania. I mean, they had some support, just not enough. What does Belgium need to do to get back in that final? They are a strong country, believe it or not. Belgium is one of the countries that is actually kind of an underdog every single year. You don't realise that they're doing actually kind of well. They do quite well every year, except this year obviously. So Belgium are still continuing to do the kind of switching broadcasters. So if you don't know, Belgium in Eurovision has two broadcasters. They switch every year. So they have the Flemish broadcaster, I think that's in VRT, and then the kind of the Belgium and French broadcaster, which is RTBF. They switch every year, and next year I'm sure it is VRT's turn, the Flemish broadcaster, and they're coming back with the national final, Eurosong. That's coming back next year for 2025. That will be their way of selecting their act for next year. The Eurosong was a successful format in 2023. It selected Gustav with the song Because of You. Great national final, some amazing songs in there, really quite good songs. So I'm expecting that to be the same this year. I mean, Eurosong works. It's worked nearly every single time that they've done it, so I feel like, why would that change? I do feel bad for Musti though. He's such an amazing person, and yeah, kind spirit, and yeah, the song was good. The song was good. We lost a good one there. Okay, in 12th place we have Denmark. Saba with the song Sand with 36 points. This actually was close to making it. only 7 points out from 10th place. 10th place had 43 points, and Denmark got 36. This song was kind of had a question mark from the beginning. We really didn't know if this was going to make it or not. I thought this was quite a good song. The live performance at the national final was quite good. I really did enjoy it. It was powerful. Her voice was great. Staging was good. Loved what she was wearing. I loved the sand element in the staging as well. I don't know what the kind of backdrop was about with her being projected on the backdrop. I don't know what that was about. I don't know what that was. It seemed like a poor choice. I don't know what that was about. But it was good. And her voice was great. I was worried about the vocals and it looked good. There was a lot of smoke. It felt very duney, obviously sand. Obviously it just didn't have enough support, but it nearly made it. It was quite close. It got 10 points from Norway, 7 points from San Marino, 5 points from Estonia, Latvia, Austria gave it some points, Armenia, Switzerland, Malta, Israel gave it a point. It was so close to making it. I would have loved to have seen this in the final. It was also sad because I thought Denmark were going to try and make a bit more of an effort because Malmö was hosting. Obviously more people were staying in Copenhagen for Eurovision this year because it was just more accessible to get from Copenhagen to Malmö. There's not many places in Malmö to stay, so a lot of people were just staying in Copenhagen. So I thought maybe the broadcaster was going to put a little bit more effort into the national final. I think they did actually. They had some good songs in that national final. I mean, Johnny was a good song as well, but they selected Sand. It was a good song, good staging, it just wasn't enough. But I feel like they are on an upward trajectory. That's hopefully, they might not be. If they continue the way they have been with this next year, then it's a worry for Denmark. Ever since they've hosted in 2014, it's been kind of, let's just hope they kind of back up. Okay, 11th was Czechia, Aiko with the song Pedestal, just missing out by only 5 points, which is heartbreaking. So the Aiko got 38 points. They were so close, unbelievably close. This staging was actually quite decent. I thought they staged this song really well. It was one of the biggest upgrades from the national final to stage at Eurovision. It was such a complete transformation from ESCZ. Oh my god, it was such a complete 180. It done a complete flip. Vocals were so good from Aiko. The song had just a little bit more oomph into it. They had that extra kind of element in the bridge where they had her arguing with a partner and the kind of her in the box in the middle, and the camera kind of going all about it, the drop camera kind of swirling about and making it really quite intense. It was really good, and they were so close. I mean, Czechia is always a country that I worry for coming back. They don't have a lot of interest in Czechia for Eurovision, so the broadcasts are trying to find sponsorship and trying to get the money together for Eurovision. It's obviously quite a struggle, I feel, and it's a worry for Czechia coming back. I always seem to be more worried about Czechia than any other country coming back. We need as many countries as we can get for participation this year. We need at least 38. I feel like we need to at least get a few more countries added into the mix, and Czechia I'm worried for. Anytime they non-qualify is kind of a worry because we don't know if they're going to come back. But if they do come back, what do they need to change? I mean, I think they just need to select a better bunch of songs for the national final. This year was just a bit too tame. I feel like the songs weren't good, they weren't good enough. They just need to find some better songs within the selection that they get from applications. They just have to find some better songs. Although Pedestal I feel like was actually the best song out of the bunch that they had in the national final. Now looking back, I feel like it was the best. They just need to find slightly better ones. It's easier saying that than doing it, obviously, but yeah, maybe just a little bit more effort and they'll get there. Yet again, Czechia is one of the countries that can do really well. Came 10th place in 2023, I'm sure, or even 9th place. They were in the top 10. They either do really well or they don't do great. So it's a really mismatched country. They either do very well, not too good. They have to find the right balance in between the two. But yeah, that's me talked about all of the non-qualifiers. Let's have a little look at our qualifiers. So from 10th to 1st, we have Norway, just making it, Austria, Georgia, Latvia, Estonia, Greece, Switzerland, Armenia, Netherlands and Israel. Okay, so let's just quickly go through them. What are the surprises here? Norway coming 10th. What? This is one of my favourite songs of the year. It's not my favourite, I don't think, of the year now. It was at one point, but oh my god, if this didn't make it through, inconsolable for at least a day. I would have been so heartbroken. This song is just, it deserved to make it through. It got 43 points, so it was 5 points away from non-qualifying. if it didn't get, so how many points did they get from each country? So 8 points from Denmark, 6 points from Latvia, 6 points from Estonia, San Marino, Netherlands. They got points from the rest of the world. It was a really, really, really close call. And if they didn't make it, oh my god, I'd hate to think. Obviously they came last in the final. We'll talk about that in the grand final analysis, which will be coming soon. That'll be a long video, wait for it. That was just too close. Knowing that now, I would have been absolutely so nervous before the semi-final, because I thought this was a for sure qualifier. This definitely was not for sure. This was borderline. So I'm glad it made it through, but oh, I would have been shiting myself. Then, oh my god, Latvia and Georgia making it through for the first time in donkey's years. Wow, amazing. So Latvia coming 7th, Dons with the song Hollow coming 7th, 72 points, incredible for Dons. What an amazing guy, what an amazing song, amazing staging. I mean, this just, yeah, it deserved to get through. It deserved to get through. I didn't think it was going to get through. I mean, if anyone placed a bet on Latvia getting through, you are in the money right now. You've got pockets full of money right now. No one thought this was going through. This was last in the odds. So it was so nice to see them getting called first, being the surprise qualifier of the year, definitely. Yeah, I'm so happy for Latvia, and I only see this going up for Latvia. This is going to make Supernova, I feel like, a lot of people sending some beautiful ballads into Supernova next year. I'm assuming one of them is going to win a ballad from Supernova. Let's just hope that they can replicate something amazing like what Dons did on stage, and they can better it, and they can do it, get even a better result than what Dons did. Let's hope that it's an upward trajectory for Latvia. Then Georgia, I mean, this was inevitable for me. I knew this was going to get through, but the fact that it only came 8th, this is a surprise. Georgia, Nutsa Buzaladze with the song Firefighter getting 54 points. Latvia bet this. Latvia bet Georgia, which is insane. But yeah, I'm so glad this made it through. Georgia has ended the non-qualification streak. They're back in the final. I'm so happy to see the red and white cross back in the final. Obviously Nutsa, so amazing, performing, doing what she does best. She's an amazing singer. She can move as well. She's such a good performer. And yet again, this is just like Latvia. I feel like this is only going to go upwards for Georgia. I feel like they might bring back a national final possibly for next year. I have a feeling they might do that. Estonia coming 6th. I knew they were going to make it through. People were doubting it. They sailed through. Obviously Greece coming 5th, 86 points. Great for Marina Sati in Greece. Then Switzerland, our winner of the show, actually only came 4th in the semi-final, but obviously he came 5th in the televote in the grand final, so this isn't a huge surprise. It's 100% televote in the semi-finals, so it's not always a guarantee that the winner of the whole show is going to win the televote only semi-final. If they win the jury in the grand final, but obviously don't do well in the televote in the grand final, don't expect them to win the semi-final. I feel like a lot of people were surprised at this, and I'm like, don't be, because it was a possibility. So Nemo got 132 points in the semi-final, sailed straight through. Armenia came 3rd. Jako and Vladiniva, 137 points. They bet the eventual winner in the televote only semi-final. Incredible, did not expect that. So happy for Vladiniva. Amazing result for Armenia. Could not have asked for more from Armenia. They really done quite well this year, unexpectedly. I feel like this was one of the big surprises of the year, and yet again I feel like they're going to do something amazing next year. This is only going to help them. And then the next one, I don't really want to talk about the next one too much because it will just make me upset. It's the Netherlands, Europapa, Just Klein. They came 2nd in the semi-final, getting 182 points. They were only 12 points away from winning the semi-final. Yeah, very well deserved. A really amazing performance. I'll talk a little bit more about what happened with Jost in the grand final analysis. I might even do a separate video about it because there's so much I want to say, but I don't want to ruin this video, so let's just continue on. It doesn't help the way we're ending this video. Yeah, so Israel won this semi-final. Eden Golan with the song Hurricane, 194 points. Yeah, again, I mean, so many people shocked by this. I'm really not shocked by this. This was going to get votes. As I said, I've said it throughout this whole season, you can only vote for a song, you can't vote against a song. If you could vote against a song, Israel would have come last. I mean, if there was minus points, I feel like Israel would have got minus points if you could vote against a song. But no, you can only vote for a song. So this was inevitable. The televote was going to be high in the grand final, so obviously this had a chance of winning the semi-final, and it did. It didn't by much, it didn't win by a huge margin, but it did win. But yeah, obviously a lot of drama, a lot of controversy around this semi-final. But yeah, overall, we got the winner out of this semi-final. We have some icons from this semi-final as well. I mean, Dons, Nemo, Ladaniva, Marina Sata. I mean, what an amazing semi-final this was. But yeah, if there was any one of the non-qualifiers that you wanted to put into our 10 qualifiers and take one of our qualifiers away, who would you have chosen? I'm trying to figure out who would I have chosen, and this is hard. To be honest, I probably would have taken out, oh, I love We Will Rave, I love Colleen, and I love Austria. I probably wouldn't have, oh, what? This is hard. To be honest, I probably would have taken Israel out, even though it did win the semi. I would have taken Israel out and put in Czechia, possibly. I think Czechia deserved that place in the final. I feel like that song was good, and the performance was just so elevated from the national final. They deserved that place in the final. Yeah, so I'm not a huge fan of Hurricane, so I would have bumped that out and put in Pedestal. But yeah, who would you have chosen? Let me know down below in the comments. We'll have a little conversation about it. Remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more reactions and analysis and reviews like this one. We're going to be creating content about Eurovision 2024 and the upcoming Eurovision 2025, which will be held in Switzerland. We'll be making a lot of content throughout the off-season, trying to get over the post-Eurovision depression, which is obviously something we all go through, and we're all currently going through. So yeah, there'll be a lot of content coming out to get us through the off-season. But thanks so much for watching this video, and we'll see you in the next one. See you then, and bye-bye.